Analisa 6 here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the September 2024 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Pisces for sun and rising placements. Hi, Pisces. We are currently in Virgo season, which is the mutable earth sign of the zodiac that actually is directly opposite you. You are the mutable water sign, and Virgo is the mutable earth sign. So you guys make what is called an opposition to each other. So where Virgo hits in the horoscope chart for you is the 7th house, which is the house that has to do with relationships. So the sun is here highlighting relationships of all kinds. So the 7th house rules partnerships. This can be romantic partnerships, but it can also be business partnerships and also friendships. So anybody that you consider your bestie, the sun is here highlighting those relationships for you. Now, I'm late to recording a lot of these videos. It's already September 8th, but I'm going to go ahead and just talk about where we were at starting the month out, and then we'll talk about the whole month. I also do a longer video for each individual transit throughout the week. That's at the top of this playlist. It's called the September 2024 Astrology Forecast, so you can go watch that video if you want a bigger breakdown on the month. I'm going to move this a little bit. Like the lighting in my apartment is starting to shift and it's distracting me where the sun is hitting in my face. Okay, so we start out in Virgo season, that's hitting your 7th house. And then the next energy that we had starting out September is Mercury finishing up its stint in Leo. So we had Mercury in Leo for a big portion of July, and then it entered Virgo at the end of the month, and then it stationed retrograde at 4 degrees Virgo in August, and then went back into Leo. And now it's direct in Leo, and we're coming back over some of those degree points that we were seeing in July. So the last time that Mercury was at 22 degrees Leo, which it starts out at September 1st, was July 18th. And then it went retrograde. It hit that 22 degree point again on August 24th. And then it's hitting it again on September 1st. So if you want to think about what was going on kind of in that July and August period, there was a bunch of energy that was kind of happening there. And then it was direct on September 1st. And you're kind of, basically the story continues to expand around that theme when it passes over that many times, if that makes sense. And the area that this was hitting in the Pisces horoscope is the area that Leo's in, which is the 6th house. And this area of the chart is the area that has to do with your health. Leo rules the heart and the spine. So when Mercury is here, it's really good for us to think about heart health and spine health, back health. This is also really positive energy for getting really on top of your daily routine and how you're structuring things. It's also really positive energy for focusing on how you're of service in the work that you're doing and to your community. So those were big themes starting out the month of September. Venus entered the cardinal air sign of Libra at the end of July or at the end of August. And we're going to have Venus in Libra for the first 3 weeks of September. So most of the month, we're going to have Venus in Libra. And Venus is the ruler of Libra. And so this is a really positive placement for Venus. The area that Venus is hitting in the horoscope chart for Pisces is the area that is the 8th house. And the 8th house is a pretty intense house in terms of what it represents. But wherever Venus is transiting, we're experiencing some form of blessing. So I'm going to list off all the things that the 8th house represents. We have sex, death, rebirth, shared assets and resources. So those are things that we share with another person. This has to do with also loans, taxes, and debts. It can also have to do with inheritance. So all of those themes are being blessed right now by Venus in Libra. Venus is the planet that represents beauty, money, and relationships. So it's not a bad planet to have passing through this house when we're experiencing those themes in life anyways. She's there to bless it. So this is a positive energy for the Pisces dominant person. Mars is finishing up its stint in Gemini starting out September. So Mars has been in Gemini since the end of July, and it's been hitting the area of the chart that has to do with home and family. And when Mars is passing through an area of the chart, we could be experiencing some challenges around home and family life. It also in Gemini ramps up our ability to overthink, overanalyze, and have anxiety about things. So it's about to move out of this area and move into Cancer. On the date that I'm recording this, we're already done with it. It's already in Cancer. So Mars will be moving into Cancer and be here for the rest of September and then for all of October. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. Jupiter is still in Gemini, and Jupiter has been influencing your home and family life. Wherever Jupiter is, we experience a blessing. So even though Mars has been here and kind of pushing up some turbulence or bringing up some anxiety or action, Jupiter is actually trying to help you expand and grow and evolve when it comes to your home life and your family life. Saturn is still retrograde in Pisces starting out September. Uranus is stationing retrograde at 27 degrees Taurus. Now, this is hitting the area of the Pisces horoscope that has to do with communication. So your third house, you've already had Uranus here for quite a few years. Stationing retrograde, it brings more changes to how you communicate. Taurus is a very fixed sign. Well, it's not a very fixed sign. It is a fixed sign. It's the fixed earth sign of the zodiac. And when it's influencing communication, it slows communication down, and it can also make you more rigid in how you perceive things. Uranus has been shaking all that up. It's trying to help break out of rigidity around how you communicate or how you perceive things. It's helping you become more open and adaptable to other ways of viewing things. It's opening up your perspectives more. So this retrograde period, you're going to be experiencing more changes with how you perceive things and how you think about things. And it should be for the benefit, even if during the retrograde it feels discombobulating. And it's going to be here for a few months. Neptune is still retrograde in Pisces. It's been retrograde in Pisces for a while now. And then Pluto's still retrograde, but it's moving back into Capricorn, and it's going to hit that 29th anaretic degree point, which it hasn't been at 29 degrees since December 20th. We had Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn from December 20th to January 20th. So think about what was happening in your life during that time, and then what is coming up for you now during this retrograde period that might be similar. Now, the house that it's influencing, that it was influencing for you back then, is the 11th house. And this is the house that has to do with friendship circles, groups of people. It's also the organizations that we're attached to. And it also has to do with any kind of like political work that we do or community work that we're doing. And so this is a time for you to kind of look at maybe some of the things that you have been working through on a deeper level and see where you're growing and evolving still. Wherever Pluto is, we experience some kind of pain that's supposed to get healed and worked through and then become an empowered place for us. Power dynamics within a group setting are also a big Pluto theme in the 11th house. So those are things that you might be reflecting on during this retrograde in September. All right, let's get into the month. So September 2nd, we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees, and this is hitting in your 7th house of relationships. So if you have any goals for a relationship that you're in, whether it's romantic, best friend, partnership, business partnership, setting intentions for how you want to move forward in that dynamic is really supported for you during that new moon on the 2nd. On the 4th, Mars is going to be moving into Cancer, and it's entering the area of the chart that is the 5th house, which is the house that represents your relationship to your creativity. So Mars here is actually, even though it's in its fall in Cancer and it's not the best placement for Mars, it actually can be a really fun placement if you lean into creative projects and if you get really passionate about how you're expressing yourself in new ways. It can be a fun journey, but it can also bring up some turbulence. This house also rules children. So if you have kids, it can bring up some turbulence around, things that you're going through with your kids, potentially issues around fertility, maybe having it pass through this house in Cancer. But, in terms of your creative energy and your self-expression, this is something that maybe there's some tension here. Like, there could be like that, what do you call it? Tortured artist kind of feeling, which Pisces people tend to have anyways. That could be amplified, but it could be a really beneficial thing for your art. So that's something to think about, because that's going to be happening over the rest of the month and all of October. After that, we have Mercury entering its home sign of Virgo again. So the last time it entered Virgo was at the end of July. So think about what was going on at the end of July. You're revisiting some of these themes over the next few days, starting on the 9th. And this is also impacting your house of relationships. So communication around partnership and relationship is highlighted over the next couple of weeks. After this, the next big celestial event that we're going to have is actually happening in Pisces. And this is on September 17th. We have a lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces. This is hitting your first house, which is the house of identity. Eclipses are said to open portals that last for 6 months. Pisces energy is all about the ethereal, the spiritual, the imagination. It's connecting to source energy, universal love, compassion, empathy, psychic energy. And so in the first house, this portal that's opening up is really about you going through a new exploration of self, clearing out anything that isn't serving you about who you've been in the past, and being open to kind of this new version of yourself taking form over the next 6 months. It's going to happen to you whether you're initiating it or not, because that's just how celestial events work. So you're going to be in that kind of portal of energy where you're, really reflecting on who you are and clearing out the things that aren't really in alignment with the direction that you feel like you're going and moving forward. After that lunar eclipse, we're going to enter Libra season and the season of fall on the 22nd of September. And where Libra hits in the Pisces horoscope is the area of the chart that represents our, it's where we've been talking about Venus. It's the area that represents our relationship to sex, death, rebirth, assets, shared resources, taxes, loans, all of that kind of stuff. So the sun's going to come in and highlight all of those themes for you. Venus is actually going to be leaving that area and is entering the fixed water sign of Scorpio. Now, water likes water, so it's going to be making an easy trine to Pisces. And then it's going to be hitting the 9th house, which is the house that represents our relationship to our values and belief systems. It's also the house of long distance travel. It's the house that represents publishing, learning, educating, disseminating information, going and seeking an education, experiencing other cultures. Venus is here blessing all of those things. Venus is considered to be in detriment in Scorpio. So we might be up against some of the shadow qualities of Scorpio during this time, but wherever Venus is passing through, we are experiencing some blessing of some kind. So that's the area that Venus is blessing for you in September. Now, the last shift of energy that we have coming up for September for you is Mercury entering Libra and joining the sun in that 8th house placement. That's happening around the 25th of September. And Mercury here is really going to allow you to observe and analyze all of those themes that we talked about with the 8th house. So again, sex, death, rebirth, assets, shared resources, taxes, marriage. And, in Libra, it is about, a partnership dynamic and what's fair, what's equal. How do we balance all of those things out? And the sun here is bringing energy and vitality to that as well. All right, Pisces, I'm going to leave you there. If you liked this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can find me at theladyofleosure.com and thesobercurator.com. I do these every month. And if you would like to book a one-on-one session with me, my email is in the description box. All right, good luck. I will see you all in October.